Hi Stampers, it's time for another Video Kit Club. This is the March Video Kit Club. I don't know about you, where you are, but in Florida, spring is definitely here. And I wanted to celebrate spring with our new Celebrate Life stamp set. This is the stamp set that we're going to be working from. You're going to receive the Lamb and Chicks, the Celebrate Life trio here, that's the 3 verses, and the little chick and the egg. And our lamb is flocked and nice and soft and fuzzy this month. It's a really fun card with faux stitching along the edges. And there's a peek at the inside, and then I also did the envelope. So let's get started. In your Video Kit Club, you will get your white cardstock. And this month I'm going to stamp with rich cocoa instead of the black, only because it's a little bit softer, and we want a soft look for the spring. So ink up your stamp with the rich cocoa and stamp it in the center, horizontally, but more towards the top vertically. So go ahead and stamp that. And then I'm going to color with Copics. Of course, you can use whatever method that you like for coloring. On this card, I was using the new 2012 Copic colors. For the grass, I used the G43 and 46. And I know there are only a few of you that have that, and we have some more on order. If you'd like to get your name in so you're the first one to get the sets when they come in, let us know. Otherwise, I am going to do this sample with YG11 and G12. And I'm just going to start by coloring in the grass, all with the YG11, and I'm going to go a little bit below the grass line that's showing on the card, just to kind of give it a baseline. And I'm going to color all the way up to the lamb's feet and under him. And there are some spaces off to the side too. That would be green, like up here. Just go ahead and fill all that in. And then you can actually pull your color over all the way to the edge, and that kind of finishes off the image. It kind of gives it a more finished look. Pull it all the way off to the edge. And then I'm going to go back with the G12, it's a little bit darker, and do the little tufts of grass. So it gives it a little bit more accent. And I'm going right up under the lamb and the eggs too, so because it would be a little bit darker, it just gives it a little bit more definition there. Under his hooves here, under his leg, around the egg. And when you're doing the grass, if you can kind of do it in brush strokes for the grass blades, kind of gives them a more soft look. These are nice spring light colors. Okay, and then if you want to, you can go back with the lighter green, the YG11, and kind of blend where those two came together. It kind of softens that line then. Okay, now for the egg, I am using E50 and E53. E50 is actually eggshell. The name of it is eggshell. And I'm coloring right up over the grass. And then I'm going to go back in with the E53 and get the bottom of the shell You can kind of pull your color out where the shading would be behind the shell and inside the shell here on this one, and some down at the bottom, and then on the bottom of this shell. And then again, go back with your E50 and kind of just soften those lines a little bit. Okay, and the chicks are Y02, and I'm just coloring them all in one color. And then his beak and the feet are YR04. These are pretty simple to color. And then you've got some greenery actually that you want to color around the lamb. Off to the side, this is V12. I'm just going to kind of spot the flowers. If you have the new colors, again, I used RV52 for these flowers down here. They're rather tricky to see with this stamp. They all kind of blend together. If you can get the color in there. This is V12. I went back and got the tops of the flower with that. And then actually I'm going to go back in here and color this space in there green. Okay, and these daisies, they're normally white, but I like to add a little bit of color instead of just leaving them white. So I'm using Y000, and it's such a light color, it's just a hint of yellow, but since the sun is shining on them and the centers would be yellow, I'm just going to go ahead and leave that. And if you want to do the center of the flower, I mean, it's already brown from the ink, so. And now the lamb. The lamb is normally white, but I don't like to leave things white. I'm going to use the RV52 on his ears, on the bottom of his ears and on his nose. But then I'm going to use CO, which is a very light, cool gray. And it almost is invisible. You can't really see it much. Once it dries, you can see it going on. But once it dries, it is pretty much a very, very, very light white. So I'm just going to go ahead and color in the whole lamb. And even on the tops of the ears, you can blend with this gray and kind of lighten it. And it kind of dulls it a little bit. I think I'll do it on his mouth too. Okay, now we're ready to move on to the sky. In your kit, I have punched out clouds, and what you're going to do is use this as a template and lay it down on your card. I've got B with 4 zeros, and I'm laying it down, and I'm just going to start on the cloud and pull up. And then I'm going to go ahead and move the cloud, and I'm just going to keep doing this, and it's going to give it the look of clouds. I'm actually going to come down here, and you want to go all the way down to the grass line, and you want to do all the way across the top, and you can vary it by how much you pull your blue off. If you want more blue, just pull your blue farther up off of the cardstock. And just keep going around. And this just kind of gives it a more finished look. when you're done, more down here. And then I also like to kind of finish off the sky around the images and fill in any spaces. It kind of gives it more of a shadow and gives it more depth. So I just like to add a little bit of color around my images. Okay. And I'm starting at the image itself and brushing out away from it. So if you can kind of keep the same motion going all the way around. Okay, so it just gives it a little defined sky. I think I'm actually going to leave a color a little bit more blue down here. You've got more blue down at the horizon than you do clouds. So it's okay to have more blue down there. And actually I'm going to just kind of color in next to the grass. Okay. Now we're ready to go on to the faux stitching. And if you have a piercer template and a mat and a piercer, that's great. If you don't, you can use a mouse pad and a push pin and a ruler. And I'll go ahead and show you how I'm doing that. I'm just laying my image down on the mat, which could be your mouse pad. And this ruler is marked at every 1/8 of an inch. And I'm just pulling it in. Excuse me. And I'm going to use my paper punch and just punch at every 1/8 inch mark. Okay. So when you're done punching all of your holes or piercing all of your holes, I am using a pink gel pen. You could use pink, purple, pastel blue, any of the pastel colors that we've used in here. If you would like, we have a couple pink gel pens. And you're going to take the pen and you're going to just connect the dots basically and go all the way around. Okay, and then when you're done, it's going to look like it's been stitched with pink thread. And then we're ready to put it on our, actually no, we need to flock it first. But I'm going to go ahead and flock it last and show you how I did the rest of the card first. Your little banner here has got the tail on it. So what I did was I just made a light pencil mark in the middle where I wanted my cut to meet. And then I'm just going in from each corner to that cut or the dot. And there you've got your little banner. Okay? And then I'm using the Spring Miracle for my front. And I am using Sweet Plum ink. This is also the Memento. And I'm going to stamp that more to the right side. And then I'm going to go ahead and layer this on my card for now. I use the Terrific tape. And then when I put it on the card front, I'm going to put it over to the left side more and into the middle vertically and off to the right side horizontally. And then with the little banner, I wanted to attach it with a little dimensional in the middle so that it stays raised up. And then just put a little piece of tape at the end there and a little piece over here on the other side so we can adhere it to the card front. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off, and you can kind of bend your card stock as well in the middle, just kind of push it together so it'll make it a little bit of a hump. Go ahead and attach the tail first, and then when you stamp or push down the dimensional, kind of push it over a little bit so there's a little bit more of a bow there in the cardstock, and then put that down. And then you will also receive a button in your kit, and you can tie it and put it down here in the middle. I can't find mine right now, but that's where you're going to put it. And now we'll go ahead and flock the lamb. What we're going to do is use the dimensional glue. This is coming in your kit. You're going to take off the lid and take off the paper protective on the inside of the lid, and then use your applicator here to apply the glue to the lamb. And this is the dimensional glue, so it's going to dry more raised and not flat. I'm not going all the way around his ears. I'm just going to go across the top. And then around his eyes, you don't want to cover up his eyes either. So kind of go around his eyes. Just add a little bit. And since it does dry clear, you will be able to see the lines of the lamb after it dries. So don't worry about it if you put it on now and you can't see underneath it. Once it dries clear, and you will be able to see the details of the lamb underneath it. So go ahead and put your dimensional glue, and go ahead and leave some space between the grass blades. This is going to take about a half an hour to dry, so you want to be able to be at a point where you can just leave it for a little bit. Don't do his hooves. His hooves aren't furry. So just go around them. Okay, so once you've got all the glue down, then you want to go ahead and take the flocking. You'll get the Snow White flock in your kit, and you're just going to open it, and I like to just dump a lot on it. It all goes back in the bottle, so it's okay. Then just gently tap it around and let that sit. Go ahead and you can let it sit for about a half an hour, or you can gently tap it off. And then if you need to, take a pair of scissors or a fine point and just kind of clean out around the eyes and nose and ears. And then it'll still be a little bit damp for a little bit. Go ahead and let it dry. And then you're done with the card front. And you've got a nice spring card to deliver. And then if you wanted to, you will receive the white piece of cardstock that goes in the middle. You can go ahead and stamp the little Easter chick with the egg in there, or the spring chick, and the Celebrate Life that comes in your kit as well. And then, like I did on the envelope, I stamped the chick again. So there's your video kit club for this month. Hope you enjoy the spring miracles, and I will see you again next month. Happy stamping!